I'm very excited to share the latest news on the BRICS bloc with you. As many of you already know, this year looks very promising from the BRICS growth perspective, and there have been many important events that happened so far, and I've certainly tried to keep you updated to the best of my ability. Well, this week is very important. A truly key meeting took place that will define the BRICS agenda moving forward. And the unity of the BRICS members with respect to creating a new world order is absolutely unprecedented. The events of the past several years clearly solidified their focus on cooperation and on moving away from their past to secure economic and social development. The BRICS bloc foreign ministers met on June the 10th and then on June the 11th as part of an extended meeting. It took place in Nizhny Novgorod in Russia, and they met to discuss global and regional trends and issues. The BRICS bloc meeting was focused on three, let's call them pillars. Number one, politics and security. Number two, economy and finance. And the third pillar is cultural and people-to-people exchanges. It is very important to highlight the extent and the scope of the discussion because it shows that the BRICS Plus bloc is not limited to merely economic matters. It does have truly ambitious plans to transform the world through supporting and building up developing countries. And for many of them, let's be honest, this will happen through helping them move away from their colonial past. And I do think that they know very well how to execute these ambitious, in a good sense of the word, plans, judging by the fact that, and you will be surprised to hear this, judging by the fact that $78 billion in bilateral deals were actually signed on the sidelines of this meeting alone. To me, that speaks volumes. Let me know what you think in the comments below. During the meeting, the foreign ministers highlighted that the United Nations remains the cornerstone of international law, but it does require reforms to make it more equitable. No surprises there. I think we can all agree with that. The second important point is that the BRICS foreign ministers reaffirmed that the G20 alliance remains key for economic cooperation. And so I would like to stop here and just emphasize the importance that they place on the UN and the G20. Because very often, especially on YouTube, we see many clickbait videos that want to make you believe that the BRICS bloc is waging this massive economic war on the West. And I don't believe that's the case, quite the opposite actually. The United States and European countries, or the West collectively, go after the BRICS members one by one. And I think we see that. There are many examples of that.
The West is the one who tries to divide the world into various blocks. You can recall that lately, although we haven't seen it quite recently, the US has convened various summits for democracy. They unilaterally invited participants. As for the criteria for the invitation, there was only one criteria: their loyalty to the US, and primarily their loyalty to the Joe Biden's Democratic administration. As for the rest, they were described as autocracies. By the same token of bloc division, there is the notorious statement of EU chief diplomat Joseph Borrell that Europe is a blossoming garden surrounded by jungles. Let us not forget about the statement of US State Secretary Blinken. He stated that those who do not wish to be at the negotiating table, democratic table, does not opt for democratic values, risks ending up in the menu that will be presented at this democratic table. I haven't heard more racist and neo-colonial statements. It's hard for me to imagine something of this sort. That is why it's not BRICS who is isolating itself from the rest of the world. On the contrary, BRICS is a group of countries who are interested in the justice in the international arena. BRICS does not claim to be a pole there would be many poles in the multiple world order. Today we were talking about various processes unfolding in Eurasia as the fastest growing continent, namely the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the Eurasian Economic Union, ASEAN, the Gulf Cooperation Council, and naturally the Commonwealth of Independent States, as well as a host of other integration groups that establish relations between each other. They start to harmonize their actions on the similar agenda.
So the BRICS consists of developing countries. It is important to remember that. And because it consists of developing countries, they want to grow, they want to develop, and they want to cooperate, including partnering with the West. They want to have that option. But they want to do this on equal terms. That is the biggest difference. By definition, equal terms mean that there cannot be a hegemon who sanctions and forces them to act against their national interests. That, to me, is a very important point to understand. Peace, security, mutual respect, and collaboration on equal terms is what the BRICS bloc focuses on. The key point of discussion by the BRICS foreign ministers were summarized in the official joint statement. It is a very interesting read. It consists of 54 key points that will continue to be prioritized by the bloc moving forward. In this video, I will discuss the main points, and to keep this video short, I will create subsequent content to focus on other aspects in more details. So if you would like to stay updated, you know what to do. You're welcome to join my channels on YouTube or Rumble. The BRICS Plus is focused on key initiatives that will make the most lasting impact on building multipolarity. This means cutting ties with the United States dollar and switching to local currencies for all cross-border transactions. This will help them strengthen their economies, and they will be the main focal point of their trade policies moving forward. Foreign ministers underscored that this will become an absolute priority, and soon they will have the infrastructure, the payment infrastructure, in place to make that happen.
Including within BRICS, we're working on shaping an independent payment system free from political pressure, abuse, and external sanctional interference.
The development of cross-border trade between the members and ditching the dollar will be the key to the BRICS Plus short-term success. And this is why, during the meeting, foreign ministers underscored the focus on trade logistics and on sea routes as the basis for their cooperation, which will, without a doubt, attract new members, because developing nations want to trade. That's how they grow their economies. The bloc is positioned to expand this year, and this is something that I find very, very encouraging. It just announced that 59 nations plan to join the BRICS bloc. Besides a strong interest in joining the BRICS, many countries have already applied to join the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO, and the Eurasian Economic Union in 2024. This is clearly a big win because it speaks to two things. One, the bloc's current strong position as an alternative to the Western world order. Despite what the mainstream media is trying to tell us, everyone is very much tired of sanctions or running the risk of being sanctioned. And two, it shows that not only does the BRICS Plus enjoy the support of the global majority, I don't think that's an understatement of global majority, but also the world does see a considerable benefit and growth prospects in siding with the BRICS Plus nations. The world wants multipolarity, and in no shape or form is it going to settle for one country running the show and calling the shots anymore. Now let's talk about the new global financial architecture. The BRICS payment infrastructure will be designed to, quote, enhance the voice of the developing countries as well as their representation in the international financial institutions. The development of the new payment system is actively pursued through the new development bank, which will take on a more important role as it becomes a go-to lender for the developing nations. Additionally, the BRICS is calling for the reform of the International Monetary Fund, the IMF governance. Again, this is to promote fairness and equality. I think that is a good call as well. So as you can see, this speaks to the BRICS building on the idea of partnership, of cooperation, just on different terms, the terms that are acceptable to them, that benefit them. The third point to highlight is energy cooperation among the BRICS countries. This is extremely important. Affordable and reliable energy will help them create energy security, their national energy security, which is absolutely essential for national and social security as well as economic development. The foreign ministers stressed the importance of modern energy resources, and this is where the economy of China, or rather its manufacturing capacity, will be very, very important, and clearly it will benefit from the demand as well. The fourth key point is the BRICS support for Africa. Foreign ministers reiterated the principle of African solutions for African problems. And in addition to that, foreign ministers also voiced their support for a full membership for Palestine in the United Nations. They support two-state solution and returning to 1967 borders. As I said, I wanted to share a high-level summary of the quite extraordinary meeting. I think you would agree with me. Check back soon, and I will upload more videos, more content in the days ahead, and I will keep you updated. Make sure that if you have any questions for me, if you would like me to cover a specific aspect of the BRICS developments, leave me a comment in the comment section below, and I will try to include those points in my future videos. Next meeting is scheduled for October the 22nd, by the way, through October the 24th. It will be held in Kazan.